I was sitting on my couch on a Thursday night when my girlfriend told me she'd spent the night at another man's apartment. Just said it, casual, like she was talking about picking up groceries. We'd been together for 2 years. Good years, I thought. We talked about moving in together, about what our future might look like. She worked downtown at a consulting firm, long hours, high pressure. I coordinated logistics for a distribution company. Normal jobs, normal life. That night, she was scrolling through her phone, laughing at something on the screen. "What's funny?" I asked. "Oh, just something Terry sent me, my work husband." I turned to look at her. "Your what?" She didn't even glance up. "Terry, from my office. We joke that we're work married because we're always partnered on projects." Still smiling at her phone. "He's actually really sweet." I kept my voice even. "The guy you've mentioned a few times?" "Yeah. We were texting about this presentation we have next week." She put her phone down, stretched. "Actually, funny story. Last week I stayed over at his place after we worked late." Something shifted in my chest, but I kept my face neutral. "You stayed over?" "Yeah. We ordered food, kept working, and it got too late to drive home, so I just crashed on his couch." She yawned. "Well, technically we both fell asleep watching a movie. It's completely platonic, though." "You slept at another guy's apartment." She rolled her eyes. "See, this is what I mean. It's not like that at all. We're friends, close friends. Sometimes we hug goodbye. Sometimes we grab drinks after work. Last month, we went to that new brunch place everyone's talking about. It's just friend stuff." On his couch. Well, we were both tired. We kind of cuddled up under a blanket, but it's platonic cuddling, completely innocent. She looked at me like I was missing something obvious. "If you seriously don't get that, that's honestly your own issue. Not everything is about romance. Some people can just have close, affectionate friendships." I sat there for a moment. She was watching me now, waiting for a reaction. "You're absolutely right," I said calmly. She blinked. "I am." "Yeah, you're totally right." I picked up the remote and turned back to the TV. I was overthinking it. She seemed satisfied with that. Good, because I was worried you'd make a big deal out of nothing. She picked her phone back up. "Terry and I have been friends for almost a year now. It would be weird if I suddenly started treating him differently just because you're uncomfortable with normal friendship." "Makes sense," I said. She kissed my cheek and went back to her phone. I kept watching the game, but I wasn't seeing any of it. I was thinking about the restaurant reservation I'd made 11 months ago, about the gifts sitting in my closet, about the hotel room I'd splurged on for Saturday night, her birthday weekend. I'd been planning it for 3 months. Every extra shift I picked up, every lunch I packed instead of buying out, it all went toward making this one weekend special. Most of all, I was thinking about what she just said. If I was uncomfortable, that was my issue, my problem to deal with. She was right about that part. It was my problem, and I was about to solve it. Friday morning, I woke up before my alarm. She was still asleep in my bed. I got up quietly, made coffee, and opened my laptop at the kitchen table. First, I pulled up the restaurant reservation. 11 months I'd waited for this table. Called the day their booking system opened. Premium spot, the kind of place you see in magazines. I clicked cancel. The system asked for a reason. I typed, "No longer needed." Confirmation email arrived instantly. I moved to the next item. The boutique hotel reservation with the skyline view she'd been excited about when I showed her pictures. Cancel. The spa package I'd added as a surprise. Cancel. The theater tickets for Sunday. Cancel. Brunch reservation. Cancel. My phone buzzed. It was her, texting from my bedroom. Morning, babe. So excited for tomorrow. Can't wait to show the girls where we're going. The girls. Right. She'd invited 4 friends to join us for dinner. Made a whole thing about it on social media. Posted hints about this amazing place her boyfriend was taking her. I texted back, can't wait. Then I opened the tracking page for the gifts I'd ordered. Jewelry, a leather bag, some fancy tech thing for her desk she'd mentioned wanting. Total damage, almost 2 months' salary. I started the return process for everything that hadn't shipped yet. For the items already delivered and sitting in my closet, I'd handle those this weekend. The whole process took maybe 20 minutes. No hesitation, no second guessing. I heard her moving around in the bedroom. She came out wearing one of my shirts, hair messy, looking comfortable and happy. "You're up early," she said, heading for the coffee. Couldn't sleep, excited about the weekend. Not a lie. I was excited, just not for the reasons she thought. Me too. She poured her coffee. I told Camilla and Sienna about the restaurant. They're so jealous. This is going to be perfect. It'll definitely be memorable, I said. She didn't catch the tone. Why would she? She was too busy scrolling through her phone again, probably texting her friends, maybe texting Terry. "Oh, Terry wants to grab lunch today," she mentioned. "Is that cool?" "Sure," I said. "Have fun." She looked up, surprised. "Really? You're okay with it?" "You said it yourself. If I have a problem with your friendship, that's my issue. So I'm handling my issues." I smiled at her. "You should definitely go." She lit up. "You're the best. I knew you'd understand once you thought about it." She came over and hugged me from behind while I was sitting at the table. "This is why I love you. You're secure and mature." "I try," I said. She kissed the top of my head and went back to the bedroom to get ready for work. I sat there with my coffee, looking at all the cancellation confirmations in my email. Tomorrow night was going to be interesting, very interesting. Friday passed like any other day. I went to work, handled my usual tasks, responded to her texts throughout the day. She sent me a picture of her lunch with Terry, some trendy salad place downtown. They were both smiling in the photo. I sent back a thumbs up. Around 3 in the afternoon, she texted, "Dinner tonight? Want me to cook?" I replied, "Let's order in. Save energy for tomorrow." Good thinking. Can't wait. Only one more day. That evening, she came over with Thai food. We ate on the couch, watched a show we'd been following together. Everything felt normal. She was relaxed, happy, talking about her day. She mentioned Terry probably 5 times during dinner. How funny he was. How he helped her with a difficult client. How they were thinking about taking a cooking class together. "That sounds fun," I said. "Right? I mean, we spend so much time together anyway. Might as well learn something useful." She reached for another spring roll. "Plus, he's actually a decent cook already. Better than both of us." I nodded, half watching the TV. "You're being really cool about this," she said. "I appreciate it. Some guys would be weird." "I'm not some guys," I said. True statement. She curled up against me. "No, you're not. You're better." Saturday morning arrived. Her birthday. She woke up to flowers I'd ordered earlier in the week, before Thursday's conversation. No point wasting those. "Baby, these are beautiful." She took about 15 photos of them from different angles. Posted 3 to social media immediately. I made breakfast. Pancakes, bacon, coffee. She kept checking her phone, probably watching the birthday messages roll in. "So, what time is our reservation?" she asked, syrup on her bottom lip. 7:30, I said. Not a lie. That had been the time. Perfect. That gives me time to get ready. I'm meeting Camila at 4 to help me pick out what to wear. She scrolled through her phone. Sienna and Clover are riding together. Jane might be late, but she'll meet us there. 4 friends, all expecting a fancy dinner. All probably seeing her social media hints about this exclusive restaurant. Sounds good, I said. You're being mysterious about the place, she teased. You know I tried to get it out of you like 10 times this week. I wanted it to be a surprise. Well, I'm definitely surprised you managed to keep a secret. She grinned. You're usually terrible at that. After breakfast, she left to get her nails done, then hair, then meeting her friend. I had the apartment to myself. I pulled out the gifts from my closet, the ones that had already been delivered. The jewelry box, the leather bag. I packed them back in their original packaging. I'd return them Monday. My phone rang. My buddy Carl. Hey man, you still good for next weekend? He asked. We've got that camping trip. Yeah, definitely. I'd actually forgotten about it. Cool. Also, happy birthday to your girl. You guys doing something special? Something like that. Nice. She's lucky. You're one of the good ones. I laughed. We'll see about that. What's that mean? Nothing. I'll call you tomorrow. Around 6, she texted me. Leaving Camila's. See you at the restaurant. Don't be late. I texted back, I won't. I got dressed. Nice pants, button-down shirt. The kind of outfit you wear to a place like that. Then I sat on my couch and waited. 6:30. She posted a photo with her friends. They were all dressed up, laughing in someone's living room. Caption, birthday squad ready. 7 o'clock, another post. They were in a car. On our way to the best night ever. 7:15. I imagined them pulling up. Valet parking. Probably walking in through those heavy wooden doors. Her excited, confident, telling the host her name. 7:20. My phone started ringing. Her name on the screen. I let it ring 4 times before answering. Hello? Babe, there's some kind of mistake. Her voice was tight. They're saying we don't have a reservation. That's weird, I said calmly. I know. I gave them my name, your name, everything. The guy is checking right now. I heard muffled voices in the background. Can you check your email? Maybe you got a confirmation number or something. Hold on. I waited a solid 30 seconds. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. What does it say? It says the reservation was canceled. Silence. What? Canceled. Few days ago, actually. Why would... She stopped. I heard her friends asking what was wrong. Did you cancel it? Yeah. Why would you do that? Her voice was rising. Everyone is here. We're standing in the lobby. Why would you cancel? You said if I had a problem with your friendship with Terry, that was my issue to deal with. So I dealt with it. More silence. Someone in the background, Camila probably, asked what was happening. This isn't funny, she said. This is my birthday. My friends are here. I know. You posted about it 3 times today. So you're just, what? You're not coming? You canceled everything because of what I said about Terry? Not because of what you said about Terry. Because of what you said about me. About my feelings being my problem. I kept my voice level. You were right. They were my problem. so I solved them. By humiliating me in front of my friends, by sabotaging my birthday. I didn't sabotage anything. I just stopped funding it. There's a difference. I could hear her breathing hard. So that's it. You're just going to let me stand here looking stupid. You're not looking stupid. You're standing in a nice restaurant with your friends. You can still have dinner, just not at my expense. Not after you told me that spending nights cuddling with another guy is my issue to handle. I cannot believe this, her voice cracked. I cannot believe you're doing this. Happy birthday, I said, and ended the call. I set my phone on the table and turned on the TV. A hockey game was on. I ordered a pizza, grabbed a beer from the fridge. My phone started buzzing. Text after text. I didn't look. Not yet. Around 8:30, it started ringing again. Different number. Probably one of her friends. I didn't answer. The pizza arrived. I ate slowly, watching the game. The home team was losing by 2. Around 9:45, I finally checked my phone. 43 messages, 12 missed calls. I scrolled through them. Half were from her, the rest from her friends. Camilla, Sienna, even Jane, who I'd only met twice. From her, answer your phone. This is insane. I'm coming over. We need to talk right now. From Camilla. What is going on? She's crying in the parking lot. From Sienna. Dude, whatever this is, not cool. I finished my beer, turned off the TV, and waited. Because she was definitely coming over, and we were definitely going to talk. But this conversation was going to go very differently than she expected. She showed up at 10:15. I heard her car pull up, heard the door slam. She didn't knock. She had a key. The door flew open and she walked in, still in her dress, makeup smudged from crying, eyes red. Are you out of your mind? First words out of her mouth. I was sitting on the couch. Come in, I guess. Don't. She pointed at me. Don't you dare be sarcastic right now. Do you have any idea what you just did? I canceled the dinner reservation. Yes, I'm aware. You humiliated me in front of everyone. Her voice was shaking. The guy at the restaurant pulled up the cancellation on his screen. Do you know what the reason said? No longer needed. He showed me. Camilla saw it. Sienna saw it. Okay. Okay. That's all you have to say? She was pacing now. I had to stand there while my friends watched me get rejected at the door like some kind of joke. They kept asking what was happening. What was I supposed to tell them? The truth would work. What truth? That my boyfriend is having a meltdown over a friendship? I leaned back. Is that what you think this is? What else would it be? You're clearly jealous of Terry. You said you were fine with it, but obviously you weren't. So instead of talking to me like an adult, you decide to ruin my birthday. I didn't ruin anything. I just stopped paying for it. Same thing. She threw her purse on the chair. You knew how much this meant to me. You knew I'd invited my friends. You let me get ready, let me show up, and then just... She made a gesture. Nothing. You just let me crash and burn. You told me your relationship with Terry was platonic, that if I didn't understand that, the problem was mine. I kept my voice calm. So I took your advice. I handled my problem. By being petty? By being honest. I stood up. You sleep over at another guy's apartment. You cuddle with him. You spend more time with him than with me some weeks. And when I showed even the slightest bit of discomfort, you told me I was the issue. Because it is platonic, nothing is happening. Maybe not. But you know what the actual problem is? You didn't care how I felt about it. You made it clear that my feelings were inconvenient to you, that I should just deal with it and stop being insecure. She opened her mouth, closed it. So I dealt with it, I continued. I realized that someone who dismisses my feelings that easily isn't someone I want to keep investing in, emotionally or financially. This is about money now? It's about respect. I spent 3 months planning this weekend. Picked up extra shifts. Saved everything I could. And for what? So you could tell me that cuddling with another man is my problem to handle. You're twisting this. Am I? You said, and I quote, "If you seriously don't get that, that's honestly your own issue." Your exact words. She stared at me. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? I meant, she struggled. I meant that you were overreacting, that you should trust me. Trust goes both ways. And you made it pretty clear you don't respect me enough to consider my boundaries. I do respect you. You respect me so much that you thought it was fine to announce you sleep at another guy's place. Not ask, not discuss. Just inform me and expect me to smile and nod. We fell asleep watching a movie. And that makes it better somehow? I shook my head. You're in a relationship with me. You don't get to have sleepovers with other men and then act like I'm crazy for having an opinion about it. She sat down hard on the chair. So what? You're breaking up with me over this? I'm breaking up with you because you showed me exactly how much my feelings matter to you. Which is not at all. That's not fair. Fair, I laughed, but there was no humor in it. What's fair about telling your boyfriend that physical intimacy with another man is completely fine and he should just deal with it? What's fair about making plans with your friends for a birthday dinner and assuming I just keep funding it no matter what? I didn't assume. You did. You assumed I'd be a doormat, that I'd swallow my feelings and play along because it was easier than dealing with conflict. I didn't think you'd do something this cruel. Cruel? I canceled a dinner. You invalidated my feelings and called me insecure for having boundaries. Which one is worse? She was crying now. Genuine tears, not angry ones. I don't want to break up. Should have thought about that before you prioritized Terry's feelings over mine. That's not what I did. Then what did you do? Explain it to me. I crossed my arms. Because from where I'm standing, you told me that physical affection with another man was completely normal. That my discomfort was my problem. And that if I didn't like it, tough. She wiped her eyes. We're close friends. I didn't think it was a big deal. You didn't think. That's the problem right there. Okay, fine. I should have asked how you felt about it first. I should have been more considerate. Is that what you want to hear? I want to hear that you understand why this is over. Not because you had a friend, but because you had zero respect for my feelings about that friendship. She stood up. Please, we can work this out. I'll stop hanging out with Terry. I'll set boundaries. Whatever you need. I don't need anything, not from you. Don't say that. She stepped closer. We've been together 2 years. That has to mean something. It did mean something, past tense. So you're just done? Just like that? Just like that. She stared at me for a long moment. Then her expression changed. The tears stopped. You know what? Fine. If this is how you want to be, fine. But you're going to regret this. I doubt it. You will. When you calm down and realize you threw away a good thing over nothing. If you think this is nothing, then you just proved my point. She grabbed her purse. I'll come by tomorrow to get my stuff. Take your time. She walked to the door, stopped with her hand on the knob. I really thought you were different. I am different. I'm the guy who knows his worth. She left without another word. The door closed. I heard her car start, heard her drive away. I sat back down on the couch. My phone was still blowing up. More messages from her friends. I turned it off completely. The apartment felt quiet, empty, but not in a bad way. For the first time in 2 days, I felt like I could breathe properly. Tomorrow, she'd probably try again. Maybe her friends would call me. Maybe she'd send long texts about how she'd made a mistake. But tonight, I was done. Completely done. Sunday morning, I woke up to silence. My phone was still off from the night before. I made coffee, sat on the balcony, watched the city wake up. Peaceful. Around 9, I turned my phone back on. It took 3 minutes for all the notifications to load. 78 messages, 21 missed calls. Most from her, some from her friends, 3 from numbers I didn't recognize. I scrolled through them. The tone had shifted overnight. From her at midnight. I can't sleep. Can we please talk? At 2 in the morning. I know you're awake. I can see you read my messages. At 4. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Please answer. At 7, I talked to Terry. I told him we can't be friends anymore. Does that help? I deleted them without responding. Then the ones from Camilla started getting interesting. Look, I don't know the full story, but she's a mess right now. Whatever happened, she really cares about you. Can you at least hear her out? Then one from Sienna. Dude, I get being upset, but the birthday thing was harsh. She's my friend, and I'm worried about her. I texted Sienna back, just one message. She told me sleeping over at another guy's place was my problem to deal with. I dealt with it. 3 dots appeared immediately, then disappeared. No response came. Around 10, someone knocked on my door. I looked through the peephole. Camilla. I opened it. Hey, she said, can I come in? Sure. She walked in, looked around like she was checking if my ex was hiding somewhere. So, that was quite a night. I imagine so. She's devastated. You know that, right? I know she's upset. Camilla crossed her arms. She told me about the Terry thing, about what she said to you. She paused. And I told her she was an idiot. I didn't respond. Camilla sat on the arm of my couch. For the record, I always thought that whole work husband thing was weird. But she insisted it was innocent. Maybe it was. Doesn't really matter anymore. She wants to fix this. She's willing to do whatever it takes. There's nothing to fix. We're done. Come on, 2 years. That counts for something. It did count for something. Until she made it clear that her friendship with some guy mattered more than my feelings. She didn't mean it the way it came out. Probably not. But she said it anyway. And the fact that she thought it was okay to say shows me everything I need to know. People make mistakes. And people face consequences. That's how life works. She stood up. I think you're being stubborn. That's fine. You're allowed to think that. She's going to keep trying, you know. Let her try. Answer's not changing. Camilla left, shaking her head. 10 minutes later, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered anyway. Hello? Is this Gregory? Male voice, older. Who's asking? This is Maxwell Carr. I'm calling about my daughter. Her father, of course. Mr. Carr. She told me what happened, about the birthday dinner. I'm sure she did. She's very upset. I've never seen her like this. I understand. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, it sounds like you humiliated her in front of her friends over a misunderstanding. It wasn't a misunderstanding. She told me that her sleeping over at another man's apartment was my issue to handle. So I handled it. Silence on the other end. She mentioned something about a co-worker, Terry, her work husband. His words, not mine. And you think something inappropriate was happening? I think appropriate or not, she made it clear she didn't care how I felt about it. That's what matters. She's young. She made a mistake in how she communicated. She's 26, not 16, old enough to understand that actions have consequences. More silence. I don't think you're being reasonable. Mr. Carr, with respect, your daughter told me that physical intimacy with another man was none of my concern. Then she acted surprised when I stopped investing in the relationship. If you think that's me being unreasonable, then we have very different definitions of the word. She said she'd end the friendship. After the fact, after she got caught at that restaurant, after she realized I was serious. That's not change. That's damage control. He sighed. What do you want from her? Nothing. I don't want anything. We're done. Just like that. Just like that. You're making a mistake. Maybe, but it's my mistake to make. I paused. Was there anything else? He hung up. I set the phone down, looked at the time. Not even noon yet. And I'd already dealt with 2 interventions. Around 2 in the afternoon, she showed up. I watched her through the peephole for a moment before opening the door. She looked exhausted. No makeup, hair in a ponytail, sweatpants and a hoodie. I need to get my things, she said quietly. Come in. She walked past me, headed straight for the bedroom. I stayed in the living room, heard her opening drawers, collecting items. She'd kept clothes here, toiletries, random stuff accumulated over 2 years. 15 minutes later, she came out with a bag, stopped in the doorway. I talked to Terry, told him we couldn't be friends anymore. He understood. I didn't respond. I know you don't believe me, but nothing ever happened. Not the way you think. Doesn't matter now. It matters to me. Her voice cracked. I need you to know that. Okay, you've told me. I heard you. And it doesn't change anything. No? She wiped her eyes with her sleeve. I love you. You love the idea of having me around while you did whatever you wanted. That's not the same thing. That's not true. You proved it was true on Thursday night when you told me my feelings were my problem. I said I was sorry. You said a lot of things. None of them changed the fact that you showed me who you are. And I believe you. She stood there for another moment, then walked to the door. Hand on the knob, she turned back. When you realize you overreacted, I might not be available. That's a risk I'm willing to take. She left. This time I knew she wouldn't be back. I spent the rest of Sunday cleaning the apartment, found random things she'd left behind. A hair tie, a book, a coffee mug. I put them all in a box by the door. Monday morning, I went back to work. Normal day. Nobody knew anything had happened. During lunch, Carl called. Hey, you good? You sounded weird on Saturday. I'm fine. Actually broke up with her this weekend. What? Why? Long story, but I'm good. Better than good. You sure? Very sure. And I was. For the first time in months, maybe years, I felt clear-headed. No more wondering if I was overreacting. No more second-guessing my own instincts. She'd shown me exactly who she was, and I'd made the only choice that made sense. The choice to walk away. The next 2 weeks were interesting. She tried everything. Tuesday, flowers showed up at my work. Big arrangement. Card said, "I miss you. Please give me another chance." My co-workers asked questions. I told them we'd broken up and left the flowers in the break room, gone by lunch. Wednesday, she appeared at my gym. Coincidence, she claimed, except I'd gone there for a year and she'd never cared before. She tried talking between my sets. I put my headphones back in and switched to a different area. Thursday, a long email arrived. 3 pages about her mistakes, how she understood now, how things would be different. I read it all, then deleted it. Friday, Sienna texted. "She's not eating, barely sleeping. I'm worried." I replied, "That's her situation to handle. You won't give her another chance?" "No, that's harsh. That's final." Weekend came. I went camping with Carl and some friends, left the city behind, sat by a fire, drank beer, felt free. Carl mentioned it Saturday night. "Want to talk about what happened?" "Not really." "You seem better though, lighter." "I am." "Then you did the right thing." Monday of week 3, her approach shifted. Social media posts started appearing. Nothing direct, but obvious. Photos with quotes about forgiveness, posts about learning from mistakes, pictures of her looking sad at coffee shops. I didn't engage, didn't like, didn't comment, didn't acknowledge. Tuesday, Camilla called. "Look, I'm on your side here, but she's struggling. Can you at least talk to her? Give her closure?" "She has closure. I ended it. That's as closed as it gets. She thinks maybe if you just talked." "Camilla, I appreciate the call, but no. The answer is no. It'll always be no." "Okay," I tried. She hung up. Wednesday brought something different. Terry showed up at my workplace. Security called me down. He was in the lobby, asked to speak with me. I went down. He was younger than I'd pictured, nervous looking. "I wanted to apologize," he said. "I didn't know I was causing problems." "You weren't. She was. She told me you two broke up because of me. We broke up because she thought cuddling with you was none of my concern. Big difference." "I never meant." "Doesn't matter what you meant. What matters is she chose to prioritize your friendship over my feelings. That was her choice, not yours." He nodded slowly. "She's pretty upset." "I'm aware. Is there anything I can—" "No, there's nothing anyone can do. We're done. That's it." He left looking confused. I went back upstairs. Thursday, she texted from a different number. "I know you blocked me. I just need you to know I'm changing. I'm getting help. I'm becoming better." I didn't respond. Added that number to the block list too. Friday afternoon, I ran into her. Genuinely by accident. Grocery store. She was in the produce section. Saw me before I could turn around. "Hey," she said quietly. "Hey, how are you?" "Fine. You?" "I've been better." She tried to smile. I meant what I said about changing. Good for you. Change for yourself, not for me. I miss you. You'll get over it?" Her face fell. "That's all you have to say?" "What else is there to say? We're done. Nothing's changed." "Everything's changed. I've changed." "Maybe, but we're still done." I walked past her, finished my shopping, went home. She didn't follow, didn't text, didn't call. That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, nothing. No flowers, no emails, no intermediaries. Just silence. And honestly, the silence feels good. Feels right. I'm sleeping better, eating better, working out more, spending time with friends who actually respect me. Sometimes I think about those 2 years. Wonder if I missed warning signs earlier. Probably. But the past is the past. What matters is I know my worth now. And I know that someone who treats my feelings like an inconvenience isn't someone I need in my life. No matter how many times they apologize, no matter how much they claim they've changed. Some doors, once closed, stay closed. And I'm completely fine with that. 6 months later, I'm in a different place. Not just mentally, physically too. New apartment, better location, fresh start. Work promoted me to a team lead position. More responsibility, better pay. I earned it. Put in the hours, proved myself. No drama, just results. The camping trips with Carl became a monthly thing. We added 2 more guys to the group. Good people. The kind who show up when they say they will. I dated a bit, nothing serious yet. Taking my time, learning what I actually want instead of settling for what's convenient. One Thursday evening, I'm at a sports bar with coworkers. We're celebrating someone's promotion. I'm halfway through a burger when Sienna walks in with a group. She spots me, hesitates, then comes over. "Hey," she says. "Hey, how's it going?" "Good. Really good, actually." She pauses. "She's seeing someone new. Thought you should know." "Okay, good for her." "That's it? Just okay?" "What do you want me to say?" I hope she's happy. I genuinely do. Sienna studies my face. "You really mean that?" "I do. What we had is done. If she found someone else, that's her life now, not my concern." She asks about you sometimes. Tell her I'm doing well, because I am. Sienna nods. "You know what? I owe you an apology. I thought you were being stubborn back then. But watching how everything played out, I get it now." She needed that wake-up call. It wasn't about teaching her anything. It was about respecting myself. "Yeah, I see that now." She smiles. "You look good. Happy?" "I am." She rejoins her group. I finish my burger. Head home an hour later. On the drive back, I think about that conversation. About how she's moved on. About how I've moved on. No anger, no regret, no what-ifs. Just clarity. I learned something important from that relationship. Not everyone who says they love you actually knows how to respect you. And respect isn't negotiable. It's not something you compromise on or explain away. When someone shows you they don't value your feelings, believe them. Don't wait for them to prove it twice. Don't give them chances to do better after they've made it clear they won't. That birthday weekend taught me more about myself than 2 years of dating ever did. It showed me I'd rather be alone than be disrespected. That I'd rather cancel plans than fund my own humiliation. Some people called it petty, cold, harsh. I call it self-respect. And 6 months later, standing in my new apartment, living my better life, I know I made the right choice. The only choice that made sense, because at the end of the day, you teach people how to treat you. And I'm done being anyone's backup plan while they explore their options. I'm done being understanding when I should be walking away. I'm done. And I've never felt better. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.